some goofy random stuff happening. I think it was called The Seventh Dimension is Wacky. I'm gonna sigh. Oh wow. Well, um, what else? There's a bit more I want to discuss, but I think I've discussed as much as I need to. But again, as I have deciphered and when the hybrid existence occurs, those of religious beliefs you will see in mass amounts in the hybrid existence upon entering. Although maybe they won't be around you so abundantly, but it's wherever they fit at in the hybrid existence, as far as depending on how much, as in solely and partially existently, how dependent they were on that religion, you're going to see a lot of motionless persons on the ground. But that's because they gave themselves up. They didn't give in. They gave themselves up for free to a belief system. In its version of heaven, which is barely spoken of, is literally a few sentences long, golden roads, oversized fruit, and big houses. Do I have to read my version of heaven again? Because if a Christian's really going to try and defend golden roads and big houses and oversized fruit, although if you have more details, let me know. But honestly, click, file, open, enter. Those, wow. It's because I'm trying to emphasize over and over because apparently I I don't know what it is. There's a mental breakdown in Christianity that's so severe. I went through it though, so I understand it. But oh my gosh, at the same time I felt it within. I was like, oh, this is just not going. This is not gonna work out. Sanctuary of eternal hearts, to be blessed upon entering, to be ascended, to be as an angel, to be within the fountains of eternity, to be within presence of wings wrapped and caressing the being. Music rains upon the angelic beings. A cheerful symphony blooms from the ground, enchanting where her wings of destiny. Those clouds spun from her heels could see a trail of glittering beauty that only the imagination could ever hope to captivate. The sky lit up in such beauty, that mesmerizing glow and music unheard though I could hear. She at ease, she at absolute solitude, at the heels of grace she flies. Light is wild and as beautiful as the mosaics of color and beauty itself. Violet to represent a caring depth of love and interest, surrounded by tranquility. Tranquility is never mentioned in the Bible, by the way. Bliss, euphoria, tranquility, nebula, galaxy, nova, supernova, quasar, all that stuff that's universal, not mentioned in the Bible. It exists. Yet, in the Bible, and ironically, the very first thing it says, in the beginning, God basically created everything. And He's perfect. And He did it all in 7 days. Okay, that's to say that He's that flippin' good, but there's no mention of the middle sex. There's no mention of the galaxy we are in. There's no mention of other planets. There's no mention of even Mars, I think. And if it is, it's mentioned as a star in the sky. Also, in Hebrew, sky, that's what heaven means, literally, in Hebrew. Research. Hell is actually a Norse term, H-E-L. The Catholic Church, at a very early time of Christianity's development, which if you have to develop a, quote, book of creation, that's already a fabrication. The Catholic Church added an extra L on this word and labeled it hell. Research, historic, history exists. Ironically, the Bible is during a time that's, well, there wasn't any cars around that time. So it must be pretty far back there. So it's pretty ironic how Christians will believe in the history of the Bible, but almost no other history in history. This is all very necessary because the irony will be expressed, and there's a ton of Christians in this world. If there weren't many Christians in this world, honestly, I would only mention this briefly. But Christianity and Muslim being the most vastly idolized and worshipped belief system, yet they are the two of the most radical belief systems. That's why I've done this very lengthy video. And to those who found this a waste of time, wasn't it such an inconvenience to hear someone who has gone through so much and as an example of humanity has survived despite such sorrow. Here's irony against what you might have to say. Jesus went through a lot of sorrow, and he was able to deal with it. I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm just saying that if you're going to love someone who went through a lot of sorrow and they're a loving person, I don't see where I'm not a loving person. That entire time I was talking to these Christians, I had pains in my side of that of glass shards. I go through pain every day. And if you don't believe me, if you walked in my room, about the first thing you would see is a half-full 20-ounce Coca-Cola bottle of toxins from my tonsils. For if I were to swallow any of it, which you can imagine, that would be a lot to swallow, I would be poisoning my body to a degree to where I don't think I could live. So, as far as any Christians wanting to quote battle, I'm not going to battle you. I'm going to express angles and consistency of a measure of a near perfect 100%. The only way that percent's going to be altered is typos. And maybe a little bit of grammar issues every now and then. But my English is quite good. My grammar is quite good as well. My vocabulary is quite exceptional. I am the Phoenix Within.